The virus was first detected in the city of Wuhan at the end of last year, and that's where the majority of cases have been reported. A handful have since been detected in other parts of Asia. The main symptoms of the virus include breathing difficulties, fever and coughing. But in vulnerable people, especially among the elderly, it can lead to organ failure, pneumonia and death. There's no treatment, so prevention is a top priority.
What up, shots? This time, this video, it's about the coronavirus. First of all, I want to tell you that this video is not gonna be edited. It's gonna have some pictures and videos from China, from within China, from basically WeChat. You know, that's the super app that we use there. And that's what people are living right now. I'm not gonna take most of my information from Western media because that's one of the concerns, right? That the people have, that Western media are trying just to mislead and get their own opinions and their own agenda on this problem. So again, this is just gonna be straight from WeChat, basically what my friends and my acquaintances are living right now in different provinces. Though I really don't know anyone from Wuhan that are experiencing this. Well, that being said, I also want to clarify that this video is going to be just a talk. That's because many people have been asking me what's going on, if I'm okay or not. Of course I'm okay, because right now I'm not in China, which I truly appreciate. It was not because I escaped. It was just that it came right in the time that I was on vacations. All right then. You know me, most of you know me. This is Mr. Mafan, and I live in China. I have been there for about 12 years, which is a lot to take and to learn. And I'm not gonna say I'm an expert. Of course I'm not, but I know a lot, definitely. So I want to start this by introducing what I do and why I'm not there. And then I'm gonna be moving on my points. I wrote some of the points that I want to clarify for everyone out there. And again, I don't want to spread panic. I also don't want to justify any media saying or reporting on the topic. I want to just give my opinion, and based on my experience and my friend's experience in the zone, in China. All right then. What is the coronavirus? As you know, like, there's a lot of information right now about it, even though it's not really under control, because there's very little that we people know. Even the WHO doesn't really know more than the genetic pattern, right? The genome. That's all they know, basically. They still are delimiting the transmission patterns, and of course there's no vaccine, there's no treatments. There are some people in China that apparently have succeeded on recovering from that. That might be the case. Why not? But again, as far as normal treatment, medicine, or of course vaccine, there's nothing about it. So this virus is, well, I got some definitions here, some information here on my devices, because I wanna be punctual. I don't want to miss anything. I really want to cover up several topics and most of what it's being said. So this belongs to the family of these MERS viruses and SARS viruses and influenza and H1N1 and all these things, as far as I know. Again, I'm not a doctor. I don't pretend to be. I just want to to explain what I know and talk about what I know, right? So these viruses present themselves as a normal flu in most of the cases, but more severe. Like the fever would be more severe, and the respiratory failures would be more severe, and all that. All right, then. We are trying at this point in the world to fight against it. There's countries that already are helping China. Not that China needs help, really. And again, with this that I'm going to say right now, I don't mean to be a somebody working for the government or anything, but I don't think China needs any help in general terms, because it's a developed country, right? They do have a strong health system, and they have experience as well, right? Me, myself, I was there back in, if I'm not wrong, that was 2009 when the SARS started, or the H1N1. Let me just check this real quick for you, because I was there, and I have to tell you that back in 2009, it was also kind of panicking, like people were panicking. Yeah, that was the H1N1 in 2009, 2010. I was there, and people were panicking as well. Why? Because of course we don't know much about it. We can't really fight it because it's intangible, but it spreads quick and it's deadly and all that. But still, people were panicking. What happened to us? The same precautions, the same measures were taken, where we were advised not to go out, stay in public places, or among crowds, and of course wash your hands and this and that and use the mask. That's kind of a no-brainer. That is what you have to do if there's such a disease around. But again, like back in 2009, I was doing my master's in Beijing, China. And what the government did, it was really quick. I don't remember really exactly the number of days, but let's say 2 weeks. And in 2 weeks or so, they developed the vaccine. I don't know if the government itself or with the help of the WHO or other countries, but they developed it. And as international students, we got the shot. I remember for the vaccine. We were one of the first ones, even before many of the population, really. I'm just guessing it was like probably kids, primary schools, and then international students. Why? I don't think it's because we were valued more than the Chinese people. No, I don't think it's that. I think it was because it's easier for us as international students to just be traveling around carrying the disease everywhere in the world. So we were kind of a risk, if you will, right? So that's why we got the shot. And again, all this is because China has experience dealing with this kind of diseases. So again, I don't think really that China is waiting for the help of anyone. Of course, I believe they accept the help. The WHO is working with them right now, as well as, again, like Japan and other countries, Korea, are sending teams of doctors and virologists and all these people that really understand and really can help in these situations. All right, then. So that's about the coronavirus and what I think would happen in the short term, actually, not even the medium term. All right, then. Now we're going to the real situation. What is going on? And this I'm gonna spend much of the time of this talk telling you this, talking about this. I would like to start by pulling out some of the information that I have on my phone, because again, that's how I'm getting my information. WeChat. After 12 years in China, I got more than 4,000 contacts and acquaintances, plus all the accounts and the media there. that are, of course, my Facebook too, because we share there, as you know, many groups that include the expats living in China in different cities. So that's the information from within that we're getting. So let's see. This, I'm going to start with the last, let's say yesterday was declared a global health emergency. That's what made people panic for real after like 2 weeks or week and a half of the big outbreak, and after, let's say, like a week from the blockage of the city of Wuhan. So people were panicking. People are panicking because of that. WHO president, he said that it's not because it's out of control. It's because if this virus spreads to somewhere, a country with a low and weak health system, then that's going to be a problem for the whole world. Of course, the country, the world is interconnected, right? It's globalized. It's really, really easy for anything like this to just spread as easy as, somebody traveling, carrying the disease, sneezing on somebody, touching somebody, something, and planes, airports, and all that, all those hubs, international hubs. So yes, of course, that would be a big, big problem. So people were panicking because of that, but again, they said that is not because it's totally out of control in China, within China. It's also very important to understand that, in my opinion, if I have to stress this, if the situation were to be really, really tough, that it would be really out of control, I honestly don't think the government, the Chinese government, will stop to think for a minute how to contain this. And I don't get me wrong, I'm not against the government. I'm just trying to give my honest opinion out of experience and everything that I've read, that I've lived, and that I've seen online and everything. One example of this is back in Chernobyl, right? What happened there? I know this is a nuclear problem, that this is that was a mistake, like a human mistake, but who is to say that this virus is not a human mistake? There news that in Wuhan, actually, there is a facility that was studying all these diseases, and probably this virus, get out of containment from there, perhaps due to a human mistake. I mean, who's to say that that's not the case? So what happened in Chernobyl is that the government just did whatever they had to do in order to contain, because like Europe is just so tight. If they didn't contain it, whatever the way, that we would probably be living in another different kind of world where Europe would be really bad, right? Like we would be experiencing right now the aftermath of that, even till today. All right, then, that's just because of that. But again, I don't think even for a minute that the virus is out of control, really. Now, there also, by the way, there's also a good, let's say, good effects or side effects of all this that I'm telling you in a minute. That's also, again, my opinion. Some people have been also writing something about that I believe is true, because again, it's just the world and politics is just a big game of chess, right? So anyway, that's not the point right now. So we've been seeing videos of people dropping on the street, probably all of a sudden. We really don't know, because what we get on WeChat is people with hazmats, right? That kind of suits, on the street, getting out from the ambulances and going and pick these people up, and of course taking them to the nearest hospital or in this case, coronavirus facility, right? That is the case of the new hospital that they built in 1 week, apparently. Now, again, don't get wrong the information, because I do not think that in 1 week they can possibly build a, let's say, a 10-story building with concrete and steel and everything like that. I don't think that was the case. It was a prefabricated building with 1 or 2 stories. You know, that type of prefabricated buildings that are, let's say, easy to build. Again, I'm not diminishing the acting of the country on the contrary, that was a quick response, and I don't see developed countries can actually do that. I don't want to talk about any country, because that's not the case, and you know, sometimes you hurt some sensibilities. It's not the point here, but be honest. Let's be honest. Really, few countries can actually do that, even if it's prefabricated. Anyway, countries around the world have been pulling out their citizens from, especially from Wuhan, China. We were checking chats of a group of Americans in Wuhan that were discussing what was going on. Again, I cannot imagine the level of stress that they were put under, because of course they were there, right? Like in the zone, experiencing everything, and well, their countries, in this case the US, they sent a plane and withdraw the people from the consulate and the citizens. Same with France, and apparently a few others have been doing the same. So that's because, again, they just want to be safe. Some people, of course, still complain about that, because they could be, or they may be, carrying the disease and not traveling to their home country. But anyways, I don't think the US or France or any other with the capacity of them, with a very strong health system, would be stupid enough to just take them home. Apparently, they're, at least what I read for the Americans, they're taking them to a facility in California where they are monitoring them, and perhaps, if any, they're going to get treatment, if any is infected. All right, then. Which other thing? There's a list of countries that have experienced cases, that have monitored cases. Of course, the mainland, which, let's say, that was yesterday. Yesterday, they were saying they were like about 7,600, whatever. I'm not here for the numbers. Cases. And then several other countries: Thailand, Japan, Hong Kong, Singapore, Taiwan. And by today, it's more than 8,000 something. Of course, some people have died, and then the next is that some people, or some media in the country, that's basically within the country, of course, they are saying, I mean, like official information, they're saying that some people have been cured, right? That they are healthy now, that there's no problem. I don't know about that. I don't have to be a doctor to just believe that they have been cured. The WHO acknowledges that there's no cure, there's no treatment, there's no vaccine. Then how did they get cured? Probably it wasn't coronavirus in the first place, in my opinion. Anyway, that's for you to decide. What else do I have here? Well, the symptoms and complications, I'm sure you've seen that a lot. I'm not here for explaining all that. Again, this video is just for friends and acquaintances and fans and everybody that is asking Mr. Mafan what's going on. Again, happily, fortunately, I went out way before everything started. Everything started about, if I'm not wrong, like in the last week of December. So I left the country in the first week of December. So, and that was like in another province, different province where from where I'm living, right? But anyways, that's the thing. And another real situation happening is that everything started in the market, in an animal market, a meat market in Wuhan. That is really, really common. It is true. It is real talk, like I'm saying, because there's also this infamous Yulin festival where people go to buy and eat dog meat and cat meat, which, by the way, when that festival is approaching, all in mainland, suddenly the dog pets and cat pets start to disappear. There are many videos of I don't know if I can call them poachers, but these thieves, you know, taking these pets. But anyways, that's a different situation. That's another topic for another video. But again, that's true. So, but in this market, it was even worse. It was like out of Guillermo del Toro's movie, you know, and like really picturesque and grotesque. Because you could find from a camel, I do not think they have an elephant because, you know, it's big and where would you put it? But I wouldn't be surprised if they actually find it for you if you really want one. But anyway, to koalas, ostriches, foxes, and of course cattle and poultry and all that, right? So, but the thing is that all of them were in a confined space, basically all together, living among humans as well. And what the experts are saying is that due to the fact that some of those animals were killed at the spot, right, for selling the meat, those inners were exposed to the other animals. So probably one of those had already the infection, right? So the other animals got infected too. So that's the situation with this market thing. And the main problem is that the virus jumped species. In this case, well, among animals, but because they really don't know which animal carried it. In the very first videos about all this coronavirus thing, it was about camels carrying it, but then they said that it was bats, and they really don't know. Again, like I said before, even the WHO doesn't really know where it started. They have been successful at identifying the genome. But other than that, they don't have treatment. They don't have vaccines or medicine to cure that. So that's for the animal market. And yes, again, it's true. It's a real situation. All right, then. Gonna put some pictures here for you to see about that.
CNN has obtained this video filmed inside the market showing that more than seafood was on offer for sale. Images of the market from early December taken by a concerned customer indicate it was apparently selling other live wild animals, including skinned birds, snakes, and raccoon dogs, sparking concern that the virus might have been transmitted from animals to humans. CNN has not independently verified this footage posted on Chinese social media site Weibo, which has since been deleted by government censors, according to the poster.
And again, I'm sure you've seen enough anyway, and not that there's no information around. Now, again, this video is just for friends, family, acquaintances, fans that know that I live there and they want to know what's happening. And even though I'm not there, it's like I'm there because I'm in constant communication with my friends and acquaintances over there. Just now, somebody is sending me a PM here that asks me how I am, and if she's been thinking that everything is bad there, and she's just telling me like, just take care. I hope you're okay. And again, because I mean, you don't tell everyone what you're gonna do in your life, right? So they don't know that I'm safe, like out of there. But again, just for everyone curious or not about that, oh, that just know me, whatever. Like, so that's the purpose of this video. Just as a reminder. The other thing that it's real, as very related with the markets, is that some people, again, not everyone, like, please, Chinese people, do not take this in the wrong way. It's not an attack. I'm always talking out of experience, and I always say that it's not everyone, it's just some people, but it's real. It's a real situation. People do eat bats, as well as snakes and you name it. I don't really have all the animals right now in my mind that actually they eat. But anyways, they do eat them. So probably, I don't know, everything started this way. You know, if you have such a market where you go and buy bat's meat or koala's meat or whatever, why do you need the meat if it's not for eating it, right? So I mean, that's just plainly simple to understand, right? I don't think we need much to really comprehend that this is happening. This video, it's already about 30 minutes, and again, I don't want to make it that long. I mean, if you want to watch it all the way, I'm going to try and put in the description down here below of the video the points and the topics that I've been discussing. So if you want to skip everything else, you just go directly to the minute and then listen about what you are curious about. Another real situation is that countries have been closing their borders, and that's understandable. You do not want your people to be exposed to something deadly. Let's be honest, it's a deadly virus. So yeah, such countries, Russia, Hong Kong, among others, have been doing that, and that goes very related to the next real situation, that is that flights, especially international airlines, have been canceling flights to China. Same reasoning, right? They do not want their people to be exposed, right? You have to contain as much as you can. In this globalized era, in this globalized world where we have to be in constant contact, it is rather difficult, but necessary in my opinion. Of course, the economic impact is going to be great, steep for some countries, and but hey, let's face it. Why do you need money? What for if your population are gonna die, right? Like, I mean, not to be pessimistic, but it could be, right? So anyway, they're canceling flights. That's another real situation. Like I said, or if I didn't, my flight is next month. So if my airline cancels my flight, then that would mean for me two things. It's really, really bad, and it's better not to go. Or it's under control and there's nothing to panic about. So I'll just go and have at it, you know, do my life normally in China. All right, then, let's move on. Another real situation, and that is really bad. It feels wrong. Well, it's wrong in so many levels, but it feels really bad as a person, as a human being. Masks have been sold out. That's not the problem. The problem is that some people that probably had the stock, the inventories, they hold them for a while, and now they're taking them out and raising the prices. In a situation like this, you cannot do this shit, because everyone will potentially fucking die. Why would you be a fucking asshole and raise the prices of the masks if the country needs that? Well, some people are just stupid. But anyways, that's happening. I got here again a message from WeChat that reads, some US pharmacies report being entirely sold out of masks, and some popular sellers on Amazon say deliveries will be delayed for weeks. That's because, well, you know, there's a huge population of Chinese people living in the US. And that might be the reason the masks sold out there because they're sending them back to China, or just plain using them there in the US. But that happened also in China. Sold out, raising prices. Anyway, stupid humans. Oh, one more thing related with the masks is that I'm gonna put this video to you guys. There's always a clever motherfucker that tries to make the quick buck. And there are videos of Chinese people, some businessmen or whatever, improvising quick masks and selling them to the public because, of course, they're sold out, right? And the factories not working, so how would you do that? So they are making fake masks and selling them. And even worse, there's another, I'm going to put that video too. There's another one where people, like basically beggars, saw the opportunity and they withdrew the mask, the used mask, to resell them, which is again like just plainly stupid. But I guess these people, like, they just don't know what they want. Anyway, but that's happening. That's a real situation happening. All right, then let's go to the next fact. Real situation. The Ministry of Transportation in China has been trying to control that. They did not prohibit the use of public transportation in many cities. In Wuhan, of course, they did. Nobody can even drive now their own cars. Everyone at home, that's kind of like, well, it's ground zero. But in other parts, like the driver will be checking your temperature, right? If you have more than should be, well, then you cannot come aboard, right? You have to get off the bus.
在今天中午的1点钟左右，武鄂高速的这个公交零收费站也已经封路了，所有出城的车辆和人员都禁止出行。
Same for airplanes, like medical personnel are going on the plane and, you know, checking everyone temperature-wise at the plane. If somebody, same in airports, if somebody has symptoms or the screening goes off, they take them, I'm going to put the videos here, they take them in special cases and wrapped around and protected out of the airport or the places, of course, to the nearest facility to contain the spread of the virus and try to, well, to heal them or to treat them or whatever. But that's really a fact. Is not a joke. That happened. Well, it's happening. It's been a long 2 weeks or so for the virus, and it's really tough. People don't know, especially in the West. If you've never been to China, or you're far away, like the American continent or Africa, you might think that everything is like Zombieland, right? Like, no, it's not like that. But what I believe is that we have to be informed, that something that the government or the normal media, the big giants of media and the official channels will not tell you. This is what we get straight from the people, right? I'm sure as my experiences and what I'm reading from my friends is happening in other parts, right? And some of the people have different stories. Like, I would love to hear them, right? Because that's what we need. We need information.
我今天已经上了1天的班，已经下班了，4点多钟下班，已经在那里崩溃了半天了。真的那种感染，比别个电视那里报道的可怕多了，蛮多。他们医生出来的估计大概有10万人。我们今天那里10几个医生，一天都看了100多个，蛮多都已经不行了，没得位置住。然后加上这里的老师， 说政府的不是说到你们那里治吗？但是政府让我们开始治，根本什么物资都没有，他们想办助燃都办不了。我觉得后续完全不行，我们在这上一天班，整个人的心里都快崩溃了，都已经受不了了。他们在这求我们的时候，我们都一点办法都没得，就看到一个好生生的人，叫他慢慢的都不行。所以你们在屋里一定要做好防护，千万不要等到时候相信政府，我觉得全部都得要靠自己。
Another real situation is that people are apparently abandoning their pets, especially dogs and cats, because they don't know if they could be carrying the disease. I mean, that's heartbreaking. Not just because I love pets and animals, but because it's understandable as well. In the chain, and this is just my opinion, but in the chain of evolution, like it or not, the humans are at the top, right? Not saying animals don't have any right, no, that's different. But if you got to protect yourself from, again, potentially dying, well, probably you might be leaving your pets, you know, because they might be carrying some. Nobody knows anything. That's heartbreaking, but that's a real situation. I'm sure, again, the situation should be really, really tough in Wuhan than in the whole country. Let's see what else. Oh well, the army is sending personnel to the area to help contain and help at the hospitals and all that. That's another real situation.
This is a fierce battle, and reinforcements are sorely needed. Military medical staff drafted from Shanghai to go to Wuhan, the epicenter of this epidemic.
And again, this is just because China is a powerful country. Military, economically, in health system. So I'm sure they are doing a lot to try and fix this. Although we also have to be open to opinions and some other information coming from, like I said, different channels. As for the fact that apparently the government is not saying the real truth. But again, which government does that, really? Like, they always diminish what is happening. Could be for control, could be for a avoid panic, public panic, you know. Anyway, different topic. Situation happening is that, and I'm going to put pictures here, is that some supermarkets and places, markets, are sold out on food, right? Same reasoning. Factories are not working in many places. Same reasoning, because they do not want crowds together. And when you go to a Chinese factory, you're talking about at least 100 people working together from different provinces. And, well, they do not want that. So I'm guessing that's the reason. And it looks like Venezuela image, you know, like bad. Some supermarkets, not everything, not everywhere, but yes, it's happening. And this was actually these pictures that I'm going to show you here. They are from Guangdong, like 2 provinces up from the ground zero. Let's see. One other big fact, probably the most important real situation, is that close to the biggest human migration every year, due to the population, of course, China, 1.7 billion or something, just right before the virus started, you know, that was the outbreak. That potentialized the threat, and that was real. That was something either calculated or not. And that goes for my conspiracy theories, which I do have some. Again, personally, that's what I believe, that's what I think. But you do not listen to me on that. What else? What to expect? I'm expecting this to clear out in about 2 weeks. I do not think this is going to last forever. I do not think this is a zombie apocalypse. Not at all. With the technology and the money, let's face it, we have as humanity and science in the level it is. I also don't think we are at the top of our technological and scientific a grandeur in human history, but still, with what we have, I believe this cannot last for a long time. So, personally, again, I expect that in about 2 weeks I would be told if I can or I cannot fly. So that will be one of the reasons, one of the things that I will be doing personally. So that's my expectations, and that's for the future, and that's what is going to happen for everyone. Let's see. So the silver lining here is for people who their glass is always half full. Not everything is bad, right? I'm not diminishing the impact or the threat around, but there's still good things going on. One of them is Hong Kong. Hong Kong demonstrations have been completely stopped, which is good because it was a mess. And people started to get hurt and whatnot. You know, I lived right there crossing. We crossed by subway to Hong Kong in Shenzhen. So, me myself, I was stopped right before flying out because I was producing a video for Ray Mafan, and you know Ray Mafan is a wrestler, so I have to wear a mask. A Mexican wrestling mask. Nothing to do with Hong Kong, right?
Like this is forbidden.
No.
In China, it's forbidden.
No.
Here, not Hong Kong. Hong
Oh,
Kong.
no, no, I didn't. I don't.
Do you know?
I don't know. I don't know anything about Hong Kong.
I must know what are you doing.
Can you call it? Come.
Policeman.
It's okay.
Policeman,
It's okay. It's okay.
Come on. 过来。
It's okay.
问那个
It's okay.
民警来没来
It's okay. It's okay. I can show you the video.
I must know what are you doing.
I'm telling you.
Why you
It's
a mask?
That was because it was super sensitive, and apparently I was stopped for a cup. You know, that cup, which I believe was not, because he was dressing as a civilian first. Secondly, he did not even have his badge. But whatever, I mean, people get paid in China to rat out foreigners for many reasons. One of them in that case was because somebody is protesting or somebody supporting the movement, the Hong Kong movement. But I wouldn't be stupid to protest against China, living in China, right? Like, I don't even get into politics in my own country. I wouldn't be doing that in, let's say, a country that is as tough as China. So no, definitely not. Nothing related to the Hong Kong movement back then. But that's the fact that, yeah, they get paid to rat out foreigners for many reasons. For that, in that case, if they know that you don't have a visa, maybe you like overstayed and they get to know that, well, they're gonna get some really good for them, 2,000-3,000 RMB or whatever, to rat you out, and then the police goes visit you at your home and is like, okay, where's your visa? And then you don't have it, deported. Another reason is that right now, like, because there's several incentives for their citizens, like that's how the government works. They get paid now to tell the government if they saw a foreigner with symptoms of this virus. Real talk. So they might know, because you never know. You don't have friends really in many cases there. So you're talking on WeChat, on a chat, and tell them like, yeah, guys, I just escaped from Wuhan, or I just came back from Wuhan because I went to this factory or whatnot. Boom. There might be somebody infiltrated in that WeChat group, which is not really a friend, acquaintance, or whatever. It's just part of the government's minions of control within WeChat. They will rat you out, and again, hospital. I don't know if it's good or not, right? Like, it's bad in terms of privacy and whatnot, but it's good in terms of, yeah, well, you're sick, you gotta get help, or you're gonna infect everyone. It's up to you. You gotta decide if it's right or wrong, right? Again, this video is not for make an assessment of if any government is good or not. is if it's bad or not. Like, there's several situations and variables to take into consideration when it comes to governing, and especially a country as unique as China. But that's different talk. Now, the yellow vest demonstration number 2 in France, which has been going on for more than 60 weeks, terminated because apparently a woman from Wuhan arrived and probably infected some people and whatnot, so it stopped. 3, the increasingly tension of war situation in the Middle East and the US, Iran and the US, also stopped, right? You're not going to be fighting while even your troops or whatever might be sick, or So that's the silver lining, guys. That's why it's happening around, and it wouldn't be the first time governments do that to take the public eye and the public opinion from the main facts in the world, from what really matters. It wouldn't be the first time that they do that for control or for whatever kind of control, not just privacy control, but demographic control. And anyways, again, I'm not here for conspiracies, but things have happened in humanity, so it's there, it's history. Just dig a little bit more into it. There's the internet, thanks God. So that's it, and that leads me to my conspiracy theories. I have 2. The first one is that China itself released the virus to test potentially a biological weapon. 2, to control what was going on against the country, because that way they indirectly pose a threat to other countries, and so they do have to stop a little bit harassing it. And well, again, that wouldn't be the first time. And the second is that the West, probably the US, did the same to China to control it, right? At this point in history, you don't really have to go to war, with tanks and bombs and guns and drones and whatever, in order to control and get what you want. You know what I'm saying? In this case, you halt the economy of a giant such as China. How? Well, you have a virus. You have to stop factories. Your economy is going to shrink, even a little bit, but it's going to shrink, right? As well as who the big winner is going to be. In my opinion, the pharmacy lab that will develop the vaccine. You will see. I don't know. It's going to be one of those giants, Eli Lilly, Bayer, whatever, They're going to come, in my opinion, in a couple of weeks with the vaccine, and that's it. Can you imagine the billions of dollars that they're going to make selling it to countries and to businesses for getting everyone out of this virus? So those are the theories, the conspiracy theories. You can call me crazy if you want, but again, it wouldn't be the first time in history that some country does that to their own citizens or to the world in order to control it in many ways. Fear controls people. That's also a fact. We don't have to be geniuses here. It's just a fact. Anyway, so that's for that. Let me see. I got here my cheat sheet of talking points. I didn't want to miss anything. Probably I would if there's something you don't like, or you have different data, or you have different opinions. Please comment here, down here. That's what it's for, right? I do not hold the absolute truth, as well as anybody ever, and at this point even more. So that's for you to take into consideration. So in conclusion, first of all, let's take precautions, guys. If you do not have to go to China, like all China, at this point, just don't go. You see, there's another impact. People will not travel to China. I mean, tourists, right? Tourism. Anyway, don't go. I mean, you have planned vacations to go to visit the Great Wall and whatnot. Just there's no rush. Don't go. I mean, there's threat. You don't have to, right? That's a different story for us that live there, that we have a life there and work there and everything. Well, that's different, right? Like we just have to. Well, that's first of all. Second of all, take the precautions. Like, listen, try to be informed by the internet, by influencers, but even the media, the official media, everywhere, BBC, the Chinese government, whatever. Like, just be informed. You make your conclusions. So, third, try and follow all the procedures of cleanliness, right? Like, wash your hands constantly, wear masks, don't be at public places. If something is odd, just go to the nearest hospital. 4, information again, in terms of read about influenza, read about the last cases, what happens, what's good, what's not. Probably there's something natural. I don't know. Maybe it's silly, but I don't know. Something like honey or herbal treatment or whatever. Or just be informed. Wait for the official information that the vaccine is out and medicine is out. Try to go and get it, right? Like back when the influenza. I forgot influenza medicine. What were the names? Oh, I got it here. Back when the influenza, there was this Tamiflu, right? It was that was. You see that? That was Roche. That is the. Let me. I mean, this is just so interesting because it's so real. This Hoffmann La Roche, it's a company from the pharmaceutical industry. And it's a Swiss company. So they were the ones that were producing this Tamiflu. But that's related to what I said before. But in this point is that you might be informed when any kind of medicine actually helps. You might be one of the first ones to buy it, because as far as we know now, we don't have it. But as soon as somebody would experience or the an organization, the government, the WHO, or somebody tells us that certain medicine helps, everybody's gonna go buy it, of course. So you might be one of the first ones, just to be safe. And well, I guess that's it. Those are my hopes for this situation, and I just hope we as humankind help each other at this point. Fuck the governments, whatever they are playing, whatever their agenda is. Either my theory is crazy or not, or real or not. Whatever they do, at the end of the day, think about it. They really don't care about us, like the normal people. We gotta be our own strength. Help each other. Do not fucking go and raise the prices on masks. Do not hold the information, even if it's called or being called as fake or debunked or whatever. Like, just spread the information. Like, I believe we might be smart enough to decide if it's good or bad, but at least you got the information. You make your own conclusions, right? Don't let people tell you what to do, what to think, how to act. Have the information, then you decide. Help the world, help each other, and stay strong. And I'm going to leave you with this video. This is very moving. It's straight from Wuhan. People are cheering up each other in one of those usual big compounds where you get 15 buildings of 40 stories or something like that. And well, people are barricaded, right? Like they're in their houses. So they opened up their windows and they started to support each other. As a city, as a country, but more than that, as humankind. So China stays strong. The world also stays strong. And if any leader out there happens to see this video, and I'm sure somebody knows what really happened in this situation, just, I don't know, it's just such a difficult call, but just stop. Like, you're gonna make money already. Just stop. I mean, you don't have to kill that many people. Okay, that's good. You tested your virus, or let's say it was a mistake. Okay, you contain it. Just fix it as soon as you can. There should be other ways to make money in this life, right? Same goes for laboratories. Like, if you're gonna release the vaccine, well, you have the money, you have the resources. Work harder, pay them more to your scientists. Make a quick impact and release that before one day it's really out of control, and us humankind are doomed for stupidity and greed. Anyway, long shot, right? That's about it, guys. That was my list. I hope I covered most of the topics I had for you today. Whatever comment you have, even if you want to call me stupid for giving my opinion or talking about these points, you're more than welcome. Everyone is free to talk, as well as everyone is free to listen, and everyone is free to have their own opinion. And I guess, yeah, that's it. Peace. And don't forget to smile.
加油！加油！
And you will see, and again, if you feel that probably you have something like that, go to your nearest hospital and tell them that you do not feel well. It's better to get some sort of treatment rather than get that worsen yourself and, of course, infect other people, right, in your country.
您这是几点的飞机啊？
越快越好。
行，那咱们就走5环了啊。
不是，师傅您穿成这样，有人敢坐您车吗？
这个现在没事，非常时期嘛。然后这个不仅是对自己负责任，主要对家人也是一份责任。也是安全第一嘛，是吧？是。防护意识一定要强。